Go ahead and record. Okay, cool. All right. Here we are with another interview. Today I have Liz on the line. So Liz, go ahead and introduce yourself. What's your
Hi,
name? Where are you from? What do you do for work?
got it. Hi, my name is Liz. I work for Stater Brothers retail, obviously. I was born in LA and raised pretty much in Rialto in the IE.
Cool, cool. And so um before we started training together, what was your background with working out prior to that?
It was on and off. I had joined a gym before, and I would go for like 3, 4 months, and then I would just drop the gym, and I go back, and then we'll do exercise here and there, and my weight was always up and down. Uh, it was never consistent as it
Oh,
is now.
gotcha. So you had like some experience with the gym, but never anything like where you had any prior knowledge. Like did you play sports in high school or anything like that?
No,
No. So like pretty much
no sports.
everything that you did in the gym was all stuff that you kind of went just based off of like we like experimenting basically and trying to
Yes.
put a program together for yourself.
Yeah, I would do a lot more cardio because I
Hmm.
would feel intimidated being in the weights
Hmm.
section. So I would just run the treadmill, try to do the Stairmaster. Or if I did the like leg foot weightlifting, it'll be like the machinery, like it'll tell you like what you're targeting.
Right.
That was about it. But we didn't really do anything else.
Gotcha. So a couple months on and then drop off and then a couple months back on, nothing really consistent. And then mostly cardio. And then if you did do any type of weights, it would be like with a machine and nothing like free weights or anything like that.
Yeah.
Cool. So what made you want to like look for a trainer or look for some type of guidance for working out? Because how long ago was this? This was back in 20 at the end of 2020 or was it 2021?
I think it was at the end of 2020. I'm not too sure. Yeah, the end of 2020, because then we did the whole 2021 like really together or
I think it was end of 21 and then all
I think,
22 and
yeah,
now we're in
there we go.
23 because you had
Yeah,
taken
so
some
it's
time
23.
off for we'll get into it in a little
Surgery.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, go back to the original question. Like what made you want to find a trainer or seek somebody out?
Well, originally it wasn't even for me. My friend wanted to do CrossFit.
Hmm.
And I remember that you do CrossFit. So I'm like, oh, I have a friend that does CrossFit. I'm like, he's a trainer. And let me reach out to him. And if you want to do it, we'll go to an interview. So we end up going, or I end up, contacting you. And then we end up meeting up with me and my friend. And she didn't want to do it, continue. And I ended up staying because I actually wanted to, you know, figure if I get a trainer or somebody that will guide me through,
Hmm.
I will stay more consistent. And actually, I have um, been more consistent than before because I figure out if I have a trainer, I can, how do I word this? Like, wouldn't fall off the wagon as fast as I would like be by myself. In other
Hmm.
words,
Right. So you originally it was for your friend that wanted to try CrossFit. I'm the CrossFit guy
hmm
or was the CrossFit guy. And but I also did like personal training and stuff too. So what did you have any like doubts at the time? Like after we had like our first meeting, like was there anything that was like maybe like you weren't sure about or anything you were concerned about?
no, not really. I actually liked it when we did the first thing and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then like after a few like sessions, I ended up feeling like the difference and stuff like that. And like I went from like going back to like when I would actually work out. I wouldn't be like when I would use the machinery for like the legs and stuff like that, like leg presses.
Hmm.
I was sore, but not as sore as I couldn't move the next day. And
Hmm.
I like that because I was still getting results, obviously. But I'm not overworking my body and not be able to do my job at work.
Right. So like just enough to get you what you're trying like what your goals are trying to accomplish, but not like thrashing you basically like how you had done in the past before without any type of
Yeah,
guidance. So
yeah.
what's been like your like the biggest thing that you've like learned over the past it's been like a year and a half or so.
Um, the biggest thing that I learned, honestly, is that even though like you pushing me that, like, hey, one more rep,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. Like even though I feel like, giving up, like I shouldn't give up just because I know I can do more or my body can be able to do more,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to like, okay, I'm doing this many reps, I have a certain number in mind, and it's just like I just stop there. When instead of pushing myself to like go, further out and stuff like that, or do more reps, should I say.
Yeah, so it's like you almost unlock like you have like an extra gear in yourself now, and you're able to like mentally push yourself harder because now you know that you can usually probably do more than you think you can.
Yeah, pretty much, yes.
Sweet.
So that, and then I don't know, I have like more confidence, like actually free, I guess, what you call it, like free weighting, I guess, weights
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more. So as opposed to before, I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't even go near the section at all.
Yeah,
So
like the free weights, like the dumbbells, the bars, the plates, all that stuff. Like that's,
yeah.
I mean, that's mainly what we do. That's like my style of training. That's what I think everybody should know how to do that. So that's what I teach.
Mhm.
What would like if you had never like continued your training or like and we're still training, like what would your life look like if you never started training or if you didn't continue to train?
Well, I'll still probably be, mm, as people will say, eating my feelings away. Um, well, I did lose a lot of weight. Obviously, I fluctuated going up and down because
Yeah.
a little minor setback and stuff. But not only that, like, okay, like now I do portion what I eat, or you tell me I can have this and I can still have that and still enjoy life, I guess you can say, as eating. But I don't eat as much as I used to. Like for instance, a pizza, I will be able to eat a whole pizza by myself, not portion it down to only two slices, but I still enjoy eating it. I can
Hmm.
still have it in my life and not take it completely out. So it's like, instead of, I don't know, I'm pretty sure I would still, if I wasn't continuing to train and stuff like that, I'll probably be gaining weight and still be like miserable, or more mad at myself because I'm not doing anything about it. So I'm just eating my feelings away pretty much.
Hmm. Yeah, right. And then so you kind of touched on like the next question already is what is life like now for you that you have been training consistently for, like I said, the past year and a half more or less. Like what type of transformation have you experienced?
Well, I did lose, but when I first started with you, it was like what, 227. So I am down to like 198. So
Hmm.
just like the difference in clothing and stuff like that, and just be able to do more and more like flexibility, I guess you can say.
Hmm.
Like it's been a big difference. Like um in the morning, like obviously having that extra weight will be harder for me to get up. Like I would just be more, obviously when people wake up in the morning, they're stiff and stuff like that, because you gotta stretch and all that stuff. Like it was just a challenge in the morning. I suppose like being a little bit slimmer and stuff like that is not as bad. And just waking up and training in the morning, or like even if I, work out at night, uh, I don't know, just it just feels so much better. It
Just
just it
overall.
Yeah, overall just so much better. Like I'm not as miserable, or as like, it's not as, it should be like, how can I say this? How can I word it? I don't know, working out makes me happy now. Like as I go about life, like, like everything that's going on and stuff like that in my life, like I would just be miserable and like sad. And now like just working out, just even if I have so much stuff going on, I don't dwell on it and not be like depressed or sad about it. It just made a big difference in my life, and has
Mm-hmm.
been.
And so that's a big we call it big thing is like it's almost been like I don't want to say like a coping mechanism, but like it helps you like manage the rest of your life, which is weird. It seems weird, like you're going into the gym in the morning to make you like burn yourself out, make yourself tired to train, but then you have more energy after that. and you're able to handle things that come your way a little bit easier, right?
Yes, that is true. Yes. Like, for an example, my coworkers always said I was grouchy. I still have one that says I'm grouchy all the time. But when I work out in the morning and then I go to work and I'm all hyper and like, laughing and joking, they're like, what is wrong with you? Like, we
Yeah.
need you to go back to your old self. I'm like, so it just obviously like releases you know, my stress or whatever it is, and
Hmm.
it just feels good.
Yeah, definitely. And so do people like treat you differently now that like you are someone that like you train pretty consistently, like you've lost some weight, you look a lot better, you feel a lot better, you act a little bit more different? Like do people treat you differently?
I feel like I've gotten more like attention and like more people like, are more open to talk to me because I guess you say friendlier and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But I've noticed I've been getting a lot more people's attention and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, okay. And um it's opened a lot of more conversations with people like, oh, you train, what do you do here? Or what do you do, or what weights do you use? Or how much do you, how many reps do you do?
Hmm.
Or how much can you lift on this? Or, just it's not that they treat me differently. It's just like it's open more conversation wise and more like not only me, like it's open myself, like, I open myself more like as opposed like I'm used to be more like quiet into myself.
Hmm.
Now I can have more conversations with people like, oh, I did this or I did this for lifted this much and stuff like that. Or like a lot of them follow me on social media, like, and no, they'll see me post it and like, oh, it's like, hey, congratulations and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Like, keep it going, you're doing great. He's like, you're looking good and stuff like that. It just
Hmm. So just like to sum it up, like just overall more positive like world basically, right? Maybe if nothing really did change, but overall like your perspective of other people and people's other people's perspective of you is a lot more positive, right?
yes, yes, it is.
Yeah.
I can actually say that.
And you said this earlier too, is like you're just overall like more confident, right? And I think you kind of touched on that with your thing about conversations, like you're just more open to talk to people now, which is it seems like you're almost like a completely different person now, which is crazy, but it's pretty common.
Yes. Yeah, because I was more closed off and not as confident, obviously, because I didn't like the way I look.
Hmm.
And even though I tried to change the way I look, I will always fall back into the old habit of going back to the just like, like people say, like, when they suffer from weight, gain, gaining weight and stuff like that, you eat your feelings away instead of, going the opposite and just keep working out and just eating healthier and changing your lifestyle. I would just go back to it because one, it's easier because it's obviously fast food is so much easier to get than cooking meals and prepping and everything like that.
Hmm.
You just go here, order it, and it's done. But um, I don't know. It's just pretty much repeating myself, just so much different.
Life is good.
Yes, so much positive. Like, I don't know. It was draining. Like, it was just like you go back to it. I would go back to it and it just be like depressed and sad. And now it's like, okay, I can go back to eating the way, like, but I know how to portion it and it doesn't make me feel bad about myself. And I'm just so much happier and so much, and it feels like I hang out with more positive people than, negative people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Like just you're elevating yourself and that's just elevating everybody around you, whether it's the same people or and you're just influencing them kind of, or if it's
Yeah.
that you've dropped certain people that weren't kind of in align with what your new lifestyle is basically, right?
Yes. Like, for instance, like I have a friend, she said, you seem more confident. It's like you don't care what people say anymore. I'm like, I don't. And I shouldn't have to care before anyways, how I was. I'm like, if people are gonna like me, they're gonna like me for who I am. And I'm like,
Hmm.
and I don't know why I let that affect me. Like, so now I feel more confident. Like, I always pretty much spoke my mind, but now I feel like I really don't hold back anything. Like if something would bother me before, like I would still will hold back like a lot.
Hmm.
And I don't hold back as much anymore. Like, oh well, you don't like it, and oh well, you know? And like, oh, like I had somebody tell me like one of my other friends, like, oh, you seem so much different now. I'm like, why is that to you? She's like, I don't know, you just seem more like, you will say what's on your mind, but just seem more like blunt lately than before. Like you just seem more confident. I'm like, well, I am. I'm like, I'm making life changes and one of them is working out, and it's I feel confident about myself and how I feel and everything. So I'm like, I don't see why I have to not speak my mind.
Yeah. And you show no signs of slowing down either, right?
No,
Exactly.
I
So,
mean, I feel like I came to like a still, but
mhm.
I still go. Not that I'm gonna stop, working out or anything like that.
Right. Like you won't backslide like back to how it would be before, where you just completely stop.
Yeah,
Like that's just not an option anymore.
like okay, like for instance, like if I don't go to the gym, like I'll still go for walks. Like my brother has dogs, so I'll take them for a walk or something like that. Like I try not to like not do any activity whatsoever. Like
Right.
I'm not gonna go back to like just completing, like you said, completely stopping.
Yeah, heck yeah. Which is huge. That's like I said, it's a total 180 from a year and a half ago, even and
Yes.
before that too, like you mentioned. So one last thing, we'll wrap it all up. What would you say to someone that's thinking about training with me or just getting a trainer in general? Like what would you say like to them? Like if they're on the fence about it.
I would tell them to do it. I would tell them that it's life changing, and I have actually tell people it's like because they don't know what to do or what to work out or whatever. I'm like, do it. I'm gonna get a trainer. They'll show you what you need to do, how to work the machines, how to work the weights, everything. I'm like, it's really life changing. I'm like, you not only get a trainer, but you gain a friend. Somebody you can like kind of vent to. I guess like a therapist. Even though they're not qualified for that.
Yeah.
Uh, an advisor because they give you advice. A nutritionist because they can give you pointers of like of what to eat or what to cut back on and what you can eat more of and stuff like that. It's like you gain more than just a trainer. And I'm like, and I tell them to do it. It's really life changing.
Bam.
Mm.
There we go. Do it. Just do it.
Just yeah, just like Nike, just do
Just do it.
it.
Cool. All right, Liz, thank you
So
so much. I appreciate
no
your
problem.
time. Is there anything else that you want to say before we hop off?
Um, no. Hopefully you get a lot more people that you can train though. I know you're the best
Yeah,
one out there.
me too. Me too. All right.